This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
Becky Lynch is going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
Welcome to the WWE Podcast. It is time for the mailbag here on this Wednesday, December 27th. We are back in business, everybody, almost back in business as we are about to approach New Year's, but for all intents and purposes, we are back, and WWE will be back in full force this coming Monday and Friday with their Day 1 Monday Night Raw event and their New Year's Revolution event on SmackDown. So, and those cards are obviously loaded. We just saw CM Punk have his first match in Madison Square Garden and under the WWE label for the first time in 10 years, facing off against Dominic Mysterio in a victory that, how else could it have gone? But we've got a lot to talk about tonight, as it is the mailbag, which means it is time for you guys to have a voice. But before we get there, I want to invite you to do a couple things. If you haven't joined us before and you don't want to listen to the ads that we have placed in the show, you can get rid of them by going to patreon.com/WWE podcast. And on those of you on the NXT Plus and above, including the SmackDown tier, the Raw tier, and pay-per-view, you get the exclusive After Dark show that's done every single week, except for those on the NXT Plus. You guys get it every other week, and that SmackDown and above gets it every week. So you can also get that show exclusively on Apple. Apple Podcasts now has that show, and more exclusive shows to come. We've got a lot going on behind the scenes that I think you'll be excited for. So, all right, well, we're back in the saddle. Let's go. We're going to start with the patrons on this mailbag. And by the way, if you're new to the show and the mailbag, you can get priority placement in the show by also joining Patreon. Alrighty, this is from Zach. Zach says, maybe I'm too soon, but this R-Truth and Judgment Day ordeal feels exactly like Sami Zayn in the Bloodline, which isn't a bad thing. I'm enjoying it. The formula works. I think it'll bring the best out of Damian Priest, and maybe he helps Damian cash in the briefcase, turning Priest officially babyface, causing friction in the Judgment Day. Thoughts? I'll be honest, I don't think it's exactly like Sami Zayn in the Bloodline. Sami Zayn in the Bloodline was a different deal. Number one, the Bloodline was the top faction in the company. It was also an incredibly intriguing storyline, one of the best acted and well executed storylines in history. Also, Sami Zayn is not 50 years old like R-Truth is. Sami Zayn has some gas left in the tank, and R-Truth does too. I love R-Truth, but to be honest with you, he isn't going to be a guy that they're going to lean on to capture the WWE's imagination and be a face of the company. It's just not in the cards, unfortunately. Also, R-Truth is specifically done as a comedy act. Sami Zayn was abused by the Bloodline, and you were waiting for him to fight back. And you're waiting for him to finally snap on Roman. This is a little different it's more of a side thing going on with R-Truth, that they're going to see how much fun they can get out of it, but I don't think they have a plan with it. They're just seeing how far they can take it before they got to pull the plug. Whereas Sami Zayn had a long arc story. It's a bit of a difference there, but I understand the similarities, right? You have this beloved babyface that's trying to fit in with the heels. And I know that you could have him cash in, help Damian cash in, but I don't think really at this point there's really a whole lot you could do to turn Damian babyface. I mean, if you have R-Truth help him cash in, well, who's he cashing in on? If you have R-Truth help him cash in on Seth Rollins, that's not going to help. The situation would have to be perfect for that to happen, and if the goal is to get Damian as a babyface, is it all worth it? Damian's doing just fine as a heel. But I see what you mean. So, alrighty. Zach, thank you so much. Let's get to our next patron, and this is from Darren. Darren says, hey, WWE Podcast family. So, Matt, I just saw ESPN's Pro Wrestling Awards for the year and would like to hear your thoughts on it if you've seen it yet, because I don't agree with all of it. You don't have to go through every award. Just curious who you think deserves the best male and female wrestlers of the year and match of the year, Darren. Good question, Darren. So, I did see a little bit of this. I got enough to speak on it somewhat. I know that they chose Rhea Ripley as their female superstar of the year, and of course Mr. Politician, congressman or banker himself, investment banker Cody Rhodes as the male superstar of the year. I agree with half of that, and that is obviously, I agree with Rhea Ripley. She has been the most dominant woman in the division. She has been arguably the most dominant woman since China. I know there's a lot of comparisons to her, and it was a different time then, and women's wrestling wasn't taken as serious. She's got a lot of China vibes in a lot of ways, in a lot of respects, with the strength, her vibe, that kind of thing. I'm not saying she's the equivalent of China. I'm just getting a little bit of that vibe where when she's working with some of these women, it feels like China versus, say, Molly Holly back in the day, you know? But Rhea Ripley certainly deserving of the female wrestler of the year, even though the only fly in the ointment for her is she has, up until recently, the last few months, defended her championship, and a lot of her opponents up until recently have been throwaway opponents in the sense and respect that you know they have no chance of winning. No disrespect to Natty, no disrespect to Zelina Vega. You just know that they had no chance. And of course, yeah, now you have Becky Lynch on the horizon. We've been waiting for that forever. And of course, Bianca Belair at some point. I know she's on a different brand, but then of course you have Cody Rhodes on the male side. And it's not that I disagree with it because I don't like his babyface character. It's because what has Cody Rhodes done over the last year? Exactly. Right? Like if we were to say this time last year, he's the male superstar of the year, you'd be like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Because he hasn't really evolved that much. His entrance is still the same. He still has the same taglines and slogans that he's trying to push out and make a thing. And he's had, totally agree that he's had really good matches. Always has really good matches. His promos, I understand why people like them. I understand his entrance music is fun. But to me, although he still gets good reactions, nothing wrong with that, the guy they should have chose is LA Knight. I know he's not as much of a household name. He's not as much of a sexy pick as, say, Cody Rhodes is with his brand. But I think LA Knight is the man because the fans made it happen. The fans are the ones who took LA Knight from nearly being released by WWE all the way to nearly beating Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Championship. LA Knight, to me, would be the star of the year, the male star of the year. Because of that organic love and support, there's so much that you can say about that, or you can't underscore that enough. That is a connection with the fans that does not happen often. Of course, there's other candidates out there. You know, Sami Zayn is still a candidate, I think, when you look at the body of work that he's put together. He's back from injury, too, by the way. He competed last night at the Madison Square Garden house show. And there's also, side note, lots of talk or statements being made about, even Drew McIntyre himself said, it was the largest gate in WWE live event, non-televised live event history. And yeah, sure. Even Drew McIntyre said on his Twitter feed recently, in the last couple hours of this recording, that even during the Rock and Austin and Hogan eras, there's never been a bigger gate. Well, I'd like to introduce a concept to Drew. It's called inflation. And I agree. There probably dollar-wise has never been a higher gate. Total gross ticket sales. And also you're in Madison Square Garden, which means you're going to be paying even more because of you're in New York City. So like you're being taxed 3 ways from Sunday on top of inflation. Yeah, you're going to have a higher grossing gate. Of course you are, but I'd like to convert that to today's dollars, if you will. To me, I'd go on number of tickets sold. Because you could say, like, okay, there was during the Rock and Austin era, the gate was $300,000, right? $400,000, whatever it is, in Madison Square. I don't know the figure, so I'm making these up, but just for the sake of my argument, if during Austin's peak, they did a $300,000 gate in Madison Square Garden, and then and that's in 1999. Fast forward to 2023, and someone says to me, "Oh, did you know they broke that $300,000 record, and it's now they did a $500,000 gate? Can you believe it? How about that? It's even bigger than when Austin was on top." Again, it's kind of a very half-baked argument. Like, it's true, but you're lying with facts, because yes, it's a higher gate, but again, you're missing the massive point of gate or dollars, right? Inflation. I don't know what else to say, right? So translate 1999's $300,000 to 2023's dollar figure and see what that is. To me, the number of tickets sold, again, is a bigger number, because that really doesn't change unless they change the physical structure of the arenas or open more seats. But the number of tickets sold, to me, is a bit more of telling if you're going to compare, decade to decade here. But all right, I went off on a tangent. I apologize. Where the hell was I? Oh, the male superstar of the year to me is LA Knight. Again, you could say Drew McIntyre's on the fringes of that too. There's other candidates as well. Even Rey Mysterio with all he's done. Gunther. How about Gunther, for God's sakes? I'd even put him right below LA Knight. Maybe even over LA Knight in some respects. So, no, I don't think Cody Rhodes is deserving of that. Not in my estimation. He's in the discussion. All right. Anyway, as far as debut of the year, they have CM Punk. Yeah, I agree with that. They have a breakthrough wrestler of the year in LA Knight. Yeah, I guess he fills that. But I think you could have easily had it also have LA Knight as the male superstar of the year. They have match of the year as Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. Okay, well, I have nothing to say on that because I don't watch AEW on a regular basis, so I can't speak to that. A lot of people are choosing Gunther versus Sheamus. Was that the Clash at the Castle? Was that the first one? Man, I don't know. They had a series. I'd say that one is in the running for match of the year. Certainly. Alrighty. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of other categories that I'm not going to get into, but good question. One for debate. That's for sure. One to debate with everyone. Alrighty. Thanks, Darren. Alrighty, let's get to Anthony. Anthony, and he says, "Good morning from California. Happy holidays to you and yours. I had checked out of wrestling for a good while. Kids, work, and family. Totally. Hey, you don't need to tell me. If you haven't been doing kids or family, if you don't have kids, maybe you're an aunt or an uncle, or you have cousins or whatever, just family in general, like, that's going to take you out of the entertainment consumption business for a while, or especially entertainment content creation is going to be decreased, but absolutely. But I found myself right back in after the Rumble, but before WrestleMania this year. I have really enjoyed just about everything. These new characters are as much fun as the Attitude Era, in my opinion. I've had to do some YouTube deep dives to get caught up, and what a ride it has been, and made me remember why I was all in years past. Finding your podcast network has enhanced my experience of jumping back in, so thank you for that. Well, thank you. Loved hearing you take over the After Dark for an episode. Completely agree with your take on Flair. She is the queen for a reason, and all hail the queen to a speedy recovery. Great highlights of 2023. I would add the passing of Bray Wyatt and Funk to the list, as well as Flair dropping the belt to Rhea. Totally agree. Again, there's things I knew I was going to miss. Yeah, this has been 2023. Has been one of the biggest years in pro wrestling since the Ruthless Aggression era. I mean, between the massive returns, the breakout stars, the up-and-coming stars that have made an impact in WWE, even in the tag team division with the Creed brothers, the long reign of Gunther, Roman continues to reign, no pun intended. Seth Rollins has done a great job being a world champion. I think we're about to see him drop it. Drew turns heel. Randy Orton returns. CM Punk is back. Like, the list goes on. The Rock made a return. I mean, guys, and we're just getting started. We haven't even touched WrestleMania season yet. This has been a great year as a wrestling fan, and I think it has brought fans like yourself, Anthony, back into the fold. because it's creating such a stir and so much noise on social media. Those fringe fans that maybe only come back for the Rumble, and then when it's socially acceptable to be a wrestling fan, especially towards WrestleMania season, they pop back in and then leave again. I think you're going to have some of those people who have been out of wrestling for a long time be like, what the hell's going on? And they just kind of, poke their head in the window and go, whoa, I need to get back in there. I need to go back in this house. And I think that's what's happening here. In my opinion, they are the two pillars of the women's division. No shade to Becky or Bianca. Keep up the great work. Watching WWE would be missing something without your podcast. Looking forward to a great 2024 for WWE podcast. Well, thanks, Anthony. I'm glad I can help. I guess add that little spice to your watching WWE. I appreciate that. We're always trying to improve here. We definitely don't have the best shows sometimes. It's with any content creation. Sometimes I come off this mic and I'm like, that sucked. And then other times I feel like I killed it. Our team does the best we can with so much content. Absolutely. I know we can improve. We're always trying to improve, trying to bring you new things, new analytics, and you know what we're really trying to do? I'll be honest with you, kind of a peek behind the curtain. We're trying to, of course, interviews are fun, and bringing on actual wrestlers or even independent wrestlers for a real perspective on the inside is always fun. But bringing a female voice onto the show that's consistent has been a goal of ours for a while. Bringing a woman on that is a passionate wrestling fan, that knows what she's talking about. They don't need to have, decades of knowledge in their mind, but just loves the product, loves to talk about it. That's kind of actually what we've been seeking behind the scenes. So don't tell anybody. All right, so I'll keep that between you and I. If it gets out, I'm gonna come for you because I know I only told you. All right. So, but that's really what we're trying to do. One of the things we're trying to do this coming year in 2024 is find a female to come on the show in somewhat regular capacity, either having her own show or as a co-host regularly with somebody else. I don't know. We haven't quite figured it out, but we got to find the person first. All right. Thanks, Anthony. Let's talk to Bad Fish. And Bad Fish, this is actually, I don't know if it was, well, I guess it's meant for it is meant for the mailbag, I guess. But you say, hey, Matt, I was just curious if anyone knew how to get NXT tickets. Going to Florida sometime in 2024 and would love to see a show. If you do, hit up Instagram at badfish, which is BADDFXSH. So it's not actually bad fish. I say bad fish, but it's actually, I can't pronounce an X. Okay. So it's BADDFXSH. So my instinct though, Badfish, is Ticketmaster. Or can't you go to like WWE.com and click on NXT or find tickets now or something? I mean, it's got to be. Is it easier or is it more difficult than I'm imagining? I've never purchased NXT tickets to see an NXT show, but I would imagine it's the same process as if you're going to Raw or SmackDown. I could be totally wrong. So if somebody out there wants to help Badfish, again, hit him up on Instagram at BADDFXSH and help him out. Alrighty. Let's get to Mr. DJ Kuzmo with his email. All right, this is going to be a fun one. So, DJ says, hey, AEW and WWE podcast world, and for the final mailbag of 2023. Oh, wow. I feel like I should have started the show out like that. Sometimes I shame myself. All right. This is DJ Kuzmo back at it again in the mailbag. Since Monday Night Raw and SmackDown are doing a best of the moment recap in this of this year in WWE, I've created a brief list of the awards, or just a few categories called the Koozie Awards for WWE, that will hopefully become an annual year-end tradition. Here we go. So this is all DJ Kuzmo's opinions. So let's do it. Your top male breakout star of the year. The Koozie Award goes to Mr. LA Knight. A close second and third, and fourth, Dirty Dom, Sami Zayn, and main event Jey Uso. Yeah, I didn't even think about Jey Uso. This is, guys, such a great year. Yes. That is hard to debate. Top female breakout star of the year. The Koozie Award goes to, in a very close vote, What are the numbers, DJ? I'd like to get the numbers on this vote. Chelsea Green, a close second and third is NXT's Tiffany Stratton and Raw's Maxine Dupree. Cool. Yeah, I think absolutely goes to Chelsea, but Tiffany Stratton getting a little bit of rub from Becky Lynch, I think helped. And then Maxine Dupree, outside of being squashed by Rhea Ripley a few weeks ago, which I think hurt, has generally been a nice surprise when you thought she was going to just kind of be eye candy. She's shown she can bring it in the ring. So I would agree. Top female wrestler of 2023, guys. This is going to be a shocker. The Kuzi Award goes to, without a doubt, and no competition, Rhea Ripley. He's just like not even a second place. That's funny. All right. The top male wrestler of 2023, and the Kuzi Award goes to, you've seen him on posters, shaking hands and kissing babies, and doing the typical babyface shtick, none other than Cody Rhodes. A close second and third, Seth Rollins and Gunther. While I don't agree with Cody Rhodes being the male wrestler of 2023, or the top male star of 2023, I see the argument, and there's probably more people that would vote him in than not, so I'm in the minority, but agree with Seth and Gunther too. Gunther honestly should probably take this award. I know I put LA Knight as the top guy of 2023, but I may amend my decision and put Gunther here for his work rate, the respect and value he's brought to the IC championship. Even more, I think, here's a hot take. I think Gunther has added more to the Intercontinental Championship than Seth Rollins has to the World Heavyweight Championship. How about that? See if anybody wants to chew on that and eat it. All righty. So the best PLE match of 2023. The Kuzi Award goes to Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley, WrestleMania 39, Night 2. And a close second and third, Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn at the Elimination Chamber. And the Steel City Street Fight at Payback, the Judgment Day versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Very nice selections here. Very nice. If I was going to say match of the 2020 match of the year, it'd probably be Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn, because of the emotion that went into that. The emotional ride that one brought all of us on, and then the ultimate disappointment, which I still think is the wrong decision, still was one of the best matches and stories told in, I don't know how long in WWE. The most shocking moments of 2023. The Kuzi Award goes to two specific moments. Number one, the Sami Zayn babyface turn at the Royal Rumble. Ooh, good one. And of course, none other than the return of CM Punk. Yeah, that Sami babyface turn at the Rumble, I watch that from time to time just to hear the reaction and feel the energy of the crowd of like, finally. It makes me want to go watch it right now. It's so good. And of course, Punk, yes. What about Randy? Although that's not really shocking, is it? No. If you took shocking moments or just said, best returns of 2023, Randy Orton has to be in that. All right. There are some other categories that come to mind for this award show, but I'll leave it at 6. Anyway, thanks for everyone here at the WWE Podcast and the Mailbag contributors, patrons, and Discord members. This is my 4th year anniversary of discovering this podcast. It's insane how the years go by so quickly. Happy New Year, everyone. DJ Kuzmo signing off. Well, 4 years? Damn. Wow. I don't. DJ, how did you find the show? I don't even ask. Did you just type in WWE in the search of Apple? How did you find me? I'm actually genuinely curious. That's a good question. Everybody. I have no idea how people find me. I would imagine it's probably through Apple, because Apple Podcasts is our number one platform for this show. If people just type in WWE, I'm one of the first selections. I'm thinking that's how most people find me, is Apple, but I don't know. All right, that's your homework assignment, everybody. All right, get to work. Thanks, DJ. Alrighty. And tomorrow, by the way, which is normally kind of a black hole of a Thursday. I know we released the show, the Mailbag, here on a Wednesday night. Most of you listen to it on Thursday, but we also have an actual show being published on Thursday. It's WrestleMagic's end of year episode, and Just Incredible, the Captain, Michael Gross, and Rocky T break down the year. So you're not going to want to miss that. It's going to be published tomorrow, which is today, depending on when you're listening. Thursday, December 28th. All right. Let's see. I don't know. That might have done it for... I want to check all my patrons. Some of you come in right last second. I've got a lot of you on Patreon who are commenting on my 2024 because I haven't given my predictions for 2024 yet. That's a show that'll be coming later this week. I might release it on a Friday or a Saturday because I got to get it in before the new year. So I'll be doing a 2024 prediction show, and my patrons have weighed in. I'm going to, of course, let you guys know what they think, but also what I think are some of the big things that can happen in 2024. So, but I see a lot of those from you guys. I'm going to wait on those. I see Alex the French guys commented on. I see you, Shahar. I see you. Your comments about what could happen. I see the comments. Okay, I see the messages sent to me. I will push bar to open. I think I will. Yes, I will. Keep all of your predictions under wraps and release those in the 2024 prediction show. All right. That'll do it for me for the email portion. That means it's time to get to the voicemails. You guys ready? Yeah, let's do it.
Podcast world. This is DJ Kuzmo back at it again on your Mailbag show. Record you live on a Wednesday morning on a very warm, very mild Wednesday morning. And we're going to get to the Veer Mahaan report. This will be the final Veer Mahaan report of 2023. So shout out to everybody that's been on the Mailbag every single week. This is the final Mailbag as I'm reporting to you live on a little Wednesday morning. And let's get to the Veer Mahaan report. Let's get to the Veer Mahaan report. A different Veer Mahaan report because, of course, this past Monday was I guess you could say a recap show on Monday Night Raw. So I'm going to do a little bit of a recap of my guys of the Indishir of Veer Mahaan saga and the modern day Maharaja. It went something like this earlier this year. They were in NXT. They had a couple of matches against the Creed brothers. Then they were off of television for a couple of weeks. And I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, they may come back on NXT. Lo and behold, Matt was right. They did get drafted to Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, kind of late in the draft. They got drafted to Monday Night Raw. And yes, as usual, they had their vignettes. They had their Veer Mahaan is coming and all the other things that were going on in terms of this tag team getting booked on Monday Night Raw in the tag team division. Coming down to the, I guess you could say, the midpoint of the year, down to the summer part, they did have some matches. Not too many as usual because they're not getting consistently booked. You know the whole spiel. Later on in the year, they did have, which was supposed to be booked at the Superstar Spectacle. They were supposed to have that awesome tag team title match against the undisputed champions of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Lo and behold, they lost the titles at Payback. So we were having some sort of six-man tag match with Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Drew McIntyre against the Indishir. And of course, they lost the match in their hometown of Hyderabad, India. As you can see, a lot of stuff, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of stops, a lot of starts and stops with my tag team of the Indishir. And now we're down to the closing part of the year. And like always, they were inconsistently booked. They did have a little highlight in the tag team Tormor match. In this, it was for the number one contendership to face the undisputed tag team champions of the, none other than Finn Balor and Damian Priest. That didn't happen, and now we're here to the end of the year. So my hope for next year in 2024 is that the Indishir get consistently booked. I don't know if they're going to be a Raw or SmackDown or NXT, whatever the case may be. This is your guy, DJ Kuzmo. Have a blessed week. Happy New Year. I'll see you next year. You'll hear from me, and peace.
Yeah, it has been a disappointing year for the Indishir. I mean, there's just no other way to describe it. There's no other way to spin it, really. You know, when they were taken off the Superstar Spectacle for that Undisputed Tag Team Championship match with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, that to me really is what did them in. Now, they're not dead. They're cold in the minds of fans. I can imagine that you and I are one of the few that are actually discussing them. But yeah, it all comes down to every week I say consistency. They got to be booked. Well, at this point, they just need to appear on the show. I mean, they're just so sporadic that it almost makes Roman Reigns look full time. You know, they are a underutilized team that when you look at them, you say, well, why aren't they on TV? I don't know what's going on. It's not like the tag team division is overloaded. That's for damn sure. I know you have heel champions, so you're not going to have the Indashir versus the Judgment Day. Heel is a very rare combination that fans are interested in. It almost never happens, almost. So you got to have them. I mean, you can have them face the Creed brothers. Have them at least in the discussion. See, that's the thing. Like, they don't have to be champions right now. In fact, again, you're not going to have them face the Judgment Day. But at least have them in the minds of fans as a credible team that eventually could go off and have a run. But they're not even in the minds of fans out of 99% of fans because they're not even on TV like once a month at this point. So it's just, I mean, I don't know what's going on. I really don't. I would love to pick the brains of those that be, the powers that be, of why this team that has a lot of potential has not been on TV just even more consistently. So I'm with you, DJ. I'm with you. All right, let's continue on.
Ask the French guy here, your current European champion. I hope everybody did have a good Christmas Eve and good holidays whatsoever. I know that last week my message didn't go through. I don't understand why. So I'm just going to say what I said last week, which is on the last edition of Raw, not the one of this Monday, but the one of last week, where Seth Rollins was confronting Drew McIntyre. Seth Rollins took his title, the World Heavyweight Championship, and laid it on the ground of the ring, in the center of the ring, just like Roman Reigns did with Cody Rhodes. That tells me that might be a sign of which Seth Rollins could very be the one who dethroned Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, I don't think will succeed in winning the title. And I think the most deserving, the most sense of people giving the most sense is credit to Seth Rollins winning the Universal Champion from Roman Reigns. I think that's the best choice. One time we were talking about this, we were thinking about this, but I have the impression that we forgot about this option, which is the best option, in my opinion, that could happen in 2024 or 2025. And that's it. Also, we are also talking about The Rock. The Rock teasing us once again through the Make-A-Wish Foundation, saying that us superstar could very be returning to WWE. The Rock, don't stop playing with us. My motto, I said, by Royal Rumble, if I don't have any sign of The Rock coming back, I'm not tuning to this, how would I say, this nonsense. And with this, I hope you have a blessing 2024. Bye, guys.
All right, Alex, thank you. Yeah, much better message this week. Last week, I know it was very choppy. Like I said, it would have been unlistenable. So much better connection wherever you are this week. I don't know where you are, but wherever you are, duplicate it next week because it's much better. Okay. Two things. The Rock. Let me just address it backwards. You know, I agree that if we don't see him at the Rumble, especially by Chamber, it's not happening. And it's been being teased for quite a while. I mean, to the point where if it doesn't happen, this is 100% on The Rock, and the fans should hold it against him. For everything he's done, I mean, you don't tease a match like this for years, not do it and think the fans are going to be cool with it. They should hold it against him. Like, hold his feet to the fire in this one. Call him on the carpet, whatever analogy you want to use. He should be held accountable for this one if it never happens. And if The Rock wants to continue to talk about it, you know, here's the thing. If he's at a Make-A-Wish event, think about what the point of that is. Think about the point of why he's there is. You're talking to kids that have terminal diseases. And maybe he was telling one of the kids just to make them feel better. Hey, maybe I will be back soon, right? What's he going to say? What's he going to say? Make the kid feel worse and say, no, it's actually not going to happen. I'm probably not going to be going back. I'm just going to stay in Hollywood. Sorry, kid. Good luck with everything. You know what I mean? So like, perhaps it was meant for a message to the kids to make them feel better, which, you know what, I'm 100% for. If it wasn't meant to piss off the fans, if it doesn't happen, then I'm fine with it. If it was meant in the context of making the kids at Make-A-Wish feel better, or if it was a message really to the kids that happened to make its way into the media, that was caught by the media, and now all of a sudden all of us other fans are saying, oh, wait a minute, he said that to the Make-A-Wish kids? You know, like, it could have just been him, again, trying to lift the spirits of these kids. And if that's what it was, that I'm not going to hold it against him, right? Like, if we look back and say all the times he teased us, this ain't one of them, right? Now, I don't know. It still could be. It still could be totally true, and it was meant for both us and the Make-A-Wish Foundation and all the kids that are in that organization or being supported by it. But until we find out if it's happening or not, I can't judge. But now moving on to Seth Rollins laying the belt at the feet of Drew, and then eventually beating Roman Reigns. First of all, I want Drew to win. Drew, and I think he's a favorite to win at day one. He should win at day one, the Raw edition of day one. And I want him to, because it would start the new year off with a bang. Drew's the right guy at the right time again, except he's a heel now. I think the fans are ready for Seth to be dethroned. I don't think they'd be angry and up in arms. Yes, you have another heel champion, but he's not an absentee champion. That's the difference. He'll be there most weeks. And on the Roman Reigns side of things, yeah, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. I've been saying that since Rumble of 22. This match has not happened, and it needs to. This program with Roman, how has it not happened? It needs to happen, and Seth Rollins is absolutely a candidate to beat Roman Reigns. How about this for a story? Seth Rollins drops the belt at day one. Drew is new champion. Seth Rollins enters the Royal Rumble, wins the Rumble, challenges Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Or somehow Cody weasels his way in and it's a triple threat. It's a thought. There's a lot of ways you could go. Guys, I think I've given you over the weeks and months here, like 8 scenarios off the top of my head, including the discussions I've had with Anthony DeMarco and others, that there's, especially you guys at the Mailbag, all of your ideas, there are so many good ones that it's difficult to choose the best because we don't know which one's the best until we do them. So there has never been a better time to be a wrestling fan. So thanks, Alex. Let's continue on.
It's Kyle from Baltimore. So I just got a dose to your top moments of, 2023, all that stuff. And then, I just wanted to just talk about this, the difference, not difference, but the situation between Becky and Rhea. Becky has had in the supporting year in terms of feuds, but her matches delivered with Bayley, with Trish Stratus, both of those steel cage matches, Tiffany Stratton at in the Extreme Rules match. And every single match that Becky's been a part of this year was great. The feuds have been terrible, the matches had delivered. But for Rhea, fortunately, great character, enjoy her work in the Judgment Day, but her matches and feuds just hasn't been interesting, and just hasn't been all that great neither. Just haven't been all that excited. So why do you think that is in some situation with Becky? And the difference between Becky and Rhea is because Becky's just a bigger star. She just makes me care about who she's feuded with because of her promos and everything. I think I'm answering my own question. It's Becky's promo ability gets me excited. I look forward to the matches delivered with Becky. Unfortunately, with Rhea, she's a great character, but her matches just fell flat because her opponents aren't that super over with the crowd because no one really cares. So that's probably the reason why Becky's feuds this year have been more successful than Rhea, even though Rhea's champion and Becky isn't. But Becky's still the top star in the company, whether she's a champion or not. So But I just wanted to just put that out there, that there's the difference between Becky and Rhea this year in terms of their feuds and matches. But what did you think about that? But that's it. This is my call. Bye.
Thanks, Kyle. Rhea and Becky. Certainly they've had differing years. While Becky Lynch is probably still a bigger name in terms of star power, Rhea Ripley's biting at her heels. And it's not always having the best matches that creates a star. It's creating a character people can relate to and feel is authentic. And Rhea Ripley has done that. And I think Rhea Ripley, even though I would agree that Becky Lynch's physical in-ring work with her opponents has been better, Rhea Ripley, her character has been more interesting than Becky, though. Rhea Ripley has been involved in one of the more surprisingly successful groups of the Judgment Day. And let's be honest, it's a surprise that they're this successful. I thought that many thought they were going to die off after Edge was ousted. And I was wrong. And Rhea Ripley has essentially taken over as the de facto leader, even though they say there's no leader. There really is. And it's Rhea Ripley. She has kept it together, kept the group together. And sure, at times she has ignored her own division and been more involved in Judgment Day business than her women's championship and defending it. And also in Rhea's defense, they haven't given her great opponents. They've given her, women that are good in the ring, but as you said, their characters aren't super over. Natalya, come on, like we all know who Natty is and who she isn't. That's not going to really turn any heads. So now she's finally getting into the meat of the season here. We're getting into WrestleMania season. And it's time to see where things lie and who her real opponents are going to be. But again, it depends on how you measure like who's been better by what. Their in-ring work, their promos, their just overall connection with the crowd, the reactions from the crowd, like what, you know what I mean? Becky Lynch also, I think, was very uninteresting generally for the fans when she was feuding with Trish Stratus, because it went way too long. Even though they had a really good match, was it a Payback in the Cage match with Zoe Stark and that whole thing that people were just floored by. And it was a really good match, and Trish was excellent. Probably her best match to date with Becky Lynch in that steel cage match. They saved the best for last, no doubt. And then you bring Becky over to NXT, and she works with Tiffany Stratton and others, Indy Hartwell and all them. And she has good matches, really good matches in NXT. Although she did have one big stinker of a promo that got a lot of Twitter backlash. It was a terrible promo that she tried to rhyme in. You guys know what I'm talking about. But other than that, yeah, Becky Lynch, she has gone back to the man character after being a heel and being that kind of short-haired, if you remember, she had short hair, just kind of narcissistic character that I don't think people ever fully bought into, but she gave it a good old college try. And she suddenly, in like 2 weeks' time, put her hair extensions back in and called herself the man again. And suddenly we all forgave her. And that's fine because the character works so well. But if you're going to compare side by side who had a better year, I still think that Rhea Ripley did from the standpoint of star power and conversation and people talking. Right? Like if that's the metric, or if you're measuring it by in-ring work, you might have a different answer. If you're measuring it by, time on television, that's a different answer. If you're measuring it by, who's gotten more, TV time, who's gotten a better crowd reaction every time they come out. These are all factors, but when it comes down to it, I think when you look at Rhea Ripley as in totality for the year, she's had a better year because she's been involved in bigger storylines. She's been involved with bigger talent than Becky Lynch has. Even if her matches aren't as, quote unquote good as some of the actual wrestling matches that Becky Lynch has been involved with the NXT women. Yeah, I don't know if that's as important as Rhea Ripley in what she's done this year because of the star power she possesses right now and the fact that she's the leader of the Judgment Day. And, I would really like to see, and I bet you that the stats would back me up on this, the merchandise sales, if you want to use that metric, are higher for Rhea than they are for Becky. Mommy shirts, right? I bet you there's a lot of that. I mean, plus she's gone face to face with like Randy Orton and you know, got the whole daddy's back thing over, like, you know, the what chance. I mean, it's really just, it comes down to, I guess, individual analysis, but I still think Rhea Ripley had a bigger year than Becky Lynch did. Okay, let's get to it. I think this is our final voicemail, guys. A little bit of a shorter episode today because of the Christmas week, but let's continue and see who our final person is.
What's up, WWE Podcast? Checking in once again. It's me. It's Rocky T. Hello, everybody. I just wanted to say Happy New Year to everybody. Belated Merry Christmas. Very excited to go into the year 2024. I know I've been listening to the Mailbag. I've been listening to everybody speak, and Matt, especially you and Anthony, and I get it. Y'all are tired of Roman's title reign. You're tired of the inflation of his numbers, padding the stats. But this is a new day and age, and we have to remember what happened, what Triple H said the night that he introduced the new World Heavyweight title in regards to this. There it is, plain as day. He said it. We have justification. I know, again, a lot of you don't like it, but it is what it is. Going into 2024, we're probably going to see more of it. I just wanted y'all to have your minds refreshed on why it is the way it is. Maybe some of you will sleep a little bit better. Maybe you won't. But hopefully this year, Roman will finally drop the title and we can just move on. But until then, we the ones.
Hey, Rocky T. So the audio you tried to play, I know you said, oh, there it is. I had to cut that out because it was just totally silent. So if you were trying to play something that Triple H said, it didn't come through. So I just deleted it. Otherwise, it would have been like 20 seconds of silence. So I'm imagining, though, that you were playing the promo where Triple H said, just when you think it's the end, it's just going to be the beginning, or something like that, to that effect. Some kind of cryptic message that when you think something's about over, it's really not. It's just getting started. Okay. Well, here's the thing. I understand that Triple H may want to do this. I understand that Triple H is trying to be clever with, when you think it's over, it's just starting. I'm actually out of caring. I don't even care. We've reached the point, I think, a lot of fans, and if you're not in this, Rocky T, cool. If other people are still enjoying Roman Reigns' run, seriously, cool. I'm glad you are. But I do think there's a growing number of fans that are in the camp of, I don't even care anymore. I don't care how this ends. I don't care even who takes the belt anymore. I just want somebody on SmackDown that's going to be there at least semi-regularly to represent a championship, a top championship on SmackDown, and lead SmackDown and give guys opportunities. That's what I think the most important thing is. It's a title that's being completely hidden and sheltered and only brought out for special occasions. It's like the WWE championship, the Undisputed Championship is the groundhog on Groundhog's Day, right? It sees its shadow. It comes out every once a year. It sees its shadow and scurries back in the hole. I feel like it's that. And I really just think that fans are starting to not give a damn about it as far as who takes it, what the situation is. Doesn't matter. Don't care. I don't even care if Triple H comes out and strips it off of him for no reason. And that's not where I want to be. I don't want to feel like this. And I don't think fans who are on this side, however many of you there are, want to feel like this. I don't know. I don't want to feel like this. I wish I didn't. I wish I was invested as I used to be. But that's what happens when you overstay your welcome. When your shelf life has expired. That's the risk that you run here. And and I know that they are doing everything. I think at this point they're going balls to the wall. I think that they are too in this. They are too far into this to stop now. They are hell bent, no matter what the backlash is from fans, to get to Hogan's record of 1,474 days, which puts us into September of 2024. That's not saying a whole lot because Roman basically has to wrestle 2 matches to get to that point, right? Based on his schedule now. He'll wrestle at okay, well, no, that's being a little bit over dramatic. He'll wrestle at the Rumble. There's 1. He'll wrestle at WrestleMania. That's 2. And if we're going duplicating last year's schedule, he'll then wrestle at SummerSlam. That's 3 matches. And then it's September. Okay, because August is SummerSlam. So, Roman Reigns, just think about that. Really, Roman Reigns has to wrestle 3 more times and defend his championship before he can break Hogan's record between now and September of 2024. That's how does anyone not have a problem with this? It is padding stats. There's no justification for this anymore, though. I don't care about Triple H's cryptic message. Not that I'm saying, Rocky T, you bringing it up, I don't care about it. That's a good point to bring up because I think they do have a plan there. But I don't specifically care about Triple H's plan anymore. I don't care. I don't even care if The Rock wins it at this point. I don't care. I honestly don't care if somebody said something. Jimmy Wang Yang. Somebody brought him up. I haven't said him on this show ever. You guys remember Jimmy Wang Yang? He was like the Asian cowboy. Remember him? I don't even care if he comes out and he decides to, take the belt from Roman. My point is that whatever plan they have of, isn't that creative? When Roman loses, we're just getting started. I don't care. I'm so uninvested now. Other than Roman dropping the belt. And then, you know what? I think it'll instantly turn him babyface. It'll breathe new life into Roman's character, honestly, because everything won't circle around the damn title. Guys on SmackDown will have an opportunity. You can create tournaments for that belt. It will feel like it's the brand will be refreshed. So there's just, whatever kind of clever trickery or sorcery they want to use to make me feel like, oh, wow, now that was tricky, Triple H. No, I don't care. There's nothing they could do that at this point that would make me go, oh, that was all worth it. Boy, oh boy, you got me, Trips. No. And I hate to be so apathetic towards the top championship in WWE, but it's just the way it is. Because I think that as I'm looking at the list in front of me, with Hulk Hogan at 1474, they are eyeballing that. And they are saying, let's do this. We are never going to have another chance to get this close. We're never going to have another chance in our lifetimes likely to dethrone Hulk Hogan in terms of his championship day reign. So I just think that they are laser focused on that, which again is I think still a poor reason. It's still not a solid reason to continue this shenaniganery. Is that a word? I don't know. But to continue this nonsense, it's run its course. We know how good Roman Reigns is. He has improved immensely on the microphone, immensely in the ring. His character, we know what it is. Paul Heyman's been great. The Bloodline story was great, although I don't really know how many people are interested in it anymore. Now the reactions he gets when he comes out are still big, but it's generally more of on the negative side of like, gee, thanks for showing up, But I feel like I'm not crapping on Roman Reigns himself. He's a Hall of Famer right now. He is. No doubt about it. I'm not angry at Paul Heyman. I'm not angry at Jimmy Uso. I'm not angry at anybody. The only one that Roman Reigns himself, I'm not angry at. I'm frustrated with management and their persistence to, for whatever reason, make history. Excuse me. That's probably what they want to do. Create more headlines. Hulk Hogan's title reign broken. They want to create big news headlines. Create people blowing up on Twitter. What they think they're going to gain from this? Okay, a little bit of media press. ESPN will report on it. It may make mainstream news. It really probably will on some kind of sports segment in kind of a wink and a nod way. Hulk Hogan's championship record has been broken in our lifetimes. Wow. And they could monetize that for a little while. And they probably will get some additional viewers out of it and some press. That'll be fun for a few weeks. And then I would say to them, I'd sit down at the table and I'd say, was this all worth it? Was this all worth it? Guys' careers that have been altered, their livelihoods actually altered because you decided to keep the belt on Roman. What was the cost of getting to this point? Exactly tell me, what was the cost benefit analysis done here? You got here. Great. Hulk Hogan's been topped. Roman Reigns is at number 3 on the all-time list. He's at 1,500 days. Wooey. Okay, cool. 2 words. Now what? And was it all worth it? Those are very interesting questions. I'd love to be a fly on the wall for this whole conversation. But I don't even know if anyone will ask those questions. All right. Before I get on a longer Roman Reigns tirade, I will stop there. But thank you, Rocky T, for bringing that up. I know Triple H did say that. He did say that, just the beginning. When you think it's the end, it's just the beginning and all that and stuff. Again, no slight on you, Rocky. Just frustration on my end and a lot of fans, where it's not even enjoyable at this point to see Roman. He's more of just, to me, I think he's reached the point where when he shows up, again, that specialness of being there so few times, in the year, that whole, as I've said, the whole argument of that is long gone. It's burned, torched, and buried. But to me, when I see him now, it's more of just an actual reminder that he's not here. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, cool, he's here. What's he going to do now? Who's he going to defend the belt? No. Now it's just, oh, that's right. We have an absentee champion. Guess I'll see you in 4 weeks. Right? Guess I'll see you in 6 weeks, 8 weeks. That's right. Add another 100 days. Here we go. See you in 3 PLEs. He's more of just a reminder now when he shows up of how much he's not there, instead of it being special when he's there. His presence is actually a reminder of his absence, rather than his presence being special that he's present, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I'm going off the rails here. All right. I'm going to end it there. As I just said, I wasn't going to go more on a rant. I just did. I'm a liar. And that's just kind of the way it is. But thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate it. And tomorrow I'll be releasing the WrestleMagic end of year episode. And then later in the week, I'll be doing a 2024 prediction show with all the patrons' input and my own that'll be released later in the week. Maybe a Friday or a Saturday, some kind of weird time. I'll figure it out. But then this coming week, of course, is the weekend review. Back to business. I know New Year's is coming up, but it's pretty much back on the saddle, as they say. So consider going to patreon.com/WWE podcast if you want all of your ad-free content. And Apple Podcasts also offers an ad-free experience. WWEpodcast.com offers an ad-free experience. So consider checking all of those options out. Thanks so much, everybody, for listening. As always, take care. Happy New Year if I don't talk to you. Merry Christmas, and I'll talk to you next time.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.